Destiny the Show. Welcome, Guardians.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to show number 7. And I was just telling Ditty as I screwed up the first version of this intro that I cannot believe this is show 7. We're 7 weeks into this, dude.
Lucky number 7.
Game hasn't even showed up yet, though. I'm a little bit salty, especially the last few weeks. How's it hanging with you? Are you waiting for September 9th?
It can't get here soon enough, man. I'm just see all this new Destiny content. We had all those trailers come out this week. The Venus trailer, the Mars trailer. It's just like, come on, I want it in my
Gamescom was
hand.
torturous, right?
Seriously.
Like, not to cut you off at the end, but it's like all this stuff that comes out. I can't believe that the beta was as long ago as it was, but man, I'm just ready. I'm ready for release. So on today's show, we're looking at a few pieces of news, and we're going to talk about a video that came from Gamescom, a really nice 13-minute interview with Deej as our topic. And it's going to be sort of short because, well, the game isn't released, and we're reiterating a lot of the stuff that we've talked about before. You know, I wish I could come out and say that there was a ton of brand new news, but there really wasn't, was there, Ditty?
Nothing surprising, at least.
How about you? Did you start your new schedule yet?
Not yet. I think that kicks in next week.
Does it the beginning of next week, or do you get like half the week?
I think it would be half the week, just the latter half.
Nice. Are you looking forward to it, or kind of sad?
It's mixed emotions. I'm happy because it's my last year, but I'm also not happy because I have to do homework again.
Yeah. I wish you could, if there was a way to do school without homework, I'm pretty certain that I would have loved college.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, like college would have been fairly fun if there was no, all right, children, you've been here all day, now go home and spend all night on it. Yes, go, worry about your grades, cry, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm sure
what's
you
the
have
saying?
some...
They say you're supposed to spend like 3 hours outside of class for every hour of class you have.
You're so stupid. Did you ever stick to that ratio? Because, I mean,
No.
I guess if there's a project due, yeah, but if there wasn't, no way, from a week-to-week basis.
No, absolutely not.
Did you ever have, like, courses in... Well, okay, I've got the best question. Have you reached the point in college where you buy books when you need them, not at the beginning of the course?
I've always done that. There were some times I needed the book anyways, and I just didn't buy it.
For kids who aren't in college yet, teachers will give you a book list of about 15 books that will be hundreds of dollars to buy all of them, and then it turns out you'll never need them, or at least for the most part you won't need most of them, and the university is not going to buy the books back. So you eventually learn to sort of deal until there's a homework assignment coming up, and then you sort of scramble, or Amazon 2-day, or whatever you got to do to get that book.
Yeah, what some of them are doing now is they're making smaller edited versions of the textbook and selling those, but you can't sell those again because they're going to use a different edition next year.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'm really glad I'm done. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to do great. You're going to have a great time. So let's get into the news. So our first piece today is actually about the Destiny Companion app. They set out a tweet here on Bungie, and I have to say right off the bat, a huge thank you to Ditty. I started my new job this week for listeners of the show. I got a full-time job doing stuff that I want to do. Can't really talk a lot about it, but I've just been busy, man. The first week of anything is really busy, and this job is no exception, so I didn't get any news really prepared. I put the show notes together a little bit hastily, and Ditty was the man, the champ, and he forwarded all the Destiny news my way this week. So Ditty, round of applause. I'll play some clapping sound effects. But the Destiny Companion app is going to be wiping your beta data soon, so get your screenshots going. And Ditty, you just checked this out, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's still up for me. This is Thursday night.
Are you going to get your scrapbook ready?
Maybe.
Well, we're YouTubers. You have all the footage recorded, so this is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not. No, I mean, like, it's cool. I mean, I still have my alpha footage, but
I was watching. I'm just now starting to upload gameplay from the beta, and again, it's making me it's weird because I've reached a place where I've sort of maxed out WoW in terms of I've beaten all the content I wanted to before Warlords of Draenor, and now it's just bonus stuff like leveling extra characters. So I'm to the point where I'm just like, I really wish Destiny was out. And this is going to sound crazy, but connection-wise, you know how slow the connection is here. That weekend, the Destiny beta was going on. There was Netflix going on in the house. There were other connection things going. It didn't bug me. I never noticed it, so I don't know what they do other than maybe cloud servers or something.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's so good. Like,
that's the beauty of next gen.
Well, it doesn't feel like Halo campaign lag. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, definitely.
Even your aiming was laggy if you weren't host on like Halo campaigns, and that just is uncomfortable.
Yeah, when AI are giving you blood-shots, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. And that's not happening in Destiny, or at least not from what I played so far. Second piece of news. The Destiny beta level scaling is going to be much different in the full release of the game. So this is a Eurogamer article. It's an interview with, is it Deej? Can you remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
Somebody from Bungie, guys. Doesn't matter. And it was really quite detailed. This was from Gamescom, I believe, where they did it was during the week of Gamescom. And a lot of stuff came out. And first being that 4.8 million players played in the beta. And there was a huge emphasis in the interview regarding how Destiny is a living, breathing world in which Bungie will interpret the way people play and cater towards that by offering new content and by literally making sure that there are new things to do for you every single day. And did you read this part of it where they're talking about all the secret tests they run in the background to see what players are playing and when?
No, I didn't, but it's really interesting because they're just analyzing things that are going on, and then they can just cater things to what the players are doing. They are investigating and researching and learning player traits and player personalities and things that they just normally do on a regular basis, and they can just cater anything in the game to what they want to do or what they're already doing.
Yeah, it sounds like they have just a massive amount of metrics on their side and so many statistics and things that they're running in the background to where they are truly working towards making sure that no matter what playstyle you want to do, there's always something for you in Destiny. And that was echoed in the video we're going to discuss in our topic today. So also mention were these things called Nightfall Strikes, and we know nothing further about it other than the name and that they wouldn't talk at all about it. And speculation-wise, what do you think, Ditty? Nightfall Strikes, special event kind of strikes, Iron Banner kind of strikes?
I would say something along the special events or the public events. Like Friday night, there's going to be a Nightfall Strike. Be there. And they can, because what we saw from the beta, they can literally just turn things on and off if they want. It's not like, oh, we have to give you a title update to give you that content. No, they just turn it on or off.
And for people who miss Moon, it was cool that it was limited accessibility because it made it special for those who were there, even though it was just not that big of a deal. I imagine they're going to have, oh, you weren't there for that one? Oh, you should have seen it, dude. It's crazy. Look at my companion app, bro. Look at that gear that dropped, you know? So they also mentioned that we have definitely not seen all of Earth, not at all seen all of Earth, so haters be hating.
Yeah, lots of questions. We were going to talk about it in the topic today. There's just like, so how big is it? You haven't even seen all of the space that we gave you in the beta.
Well, they didn't, what he said in the topic, I'll save it. I'll save it for the topic, dude. You got me going. And there's a huge mosquito in my room. Oh my gosh. The article also gives a good explanation of why 3 players versus 4, and it looks like they've done a lot of research into this, saying that throughout the years, even in Bungie games, they found that a party of 3 is easier to form and more common than a party of 4, and there's just added benefits for parties of 3 versus 4. Thoughts on this?
It makes sense. I like how they have it structured now. I never had 3 other friends to play Halo with. I mean, come on. Let's be real. It's difficult to get, a team of 4. Well, I guess not now because, the internet exists.
And YouTube, but prior to that, if we didn't YouTube at all, it's really hard to get a full party of 4. And
the
if you
only
think
reason my friends list is so full is because of YouTube.
Yeah. Well, how often did you and Vito and I play League? I mean, I can't think of a single time we had a 4th.
Like us 3, And
it was easy.
If it was one of us 3, we'd have Mr. Random jump in,
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Mr. R, but I don't know. I don't even think he listens to this, but that's okay. Tear up the bot lane,
Shout
dude.
out.
I hope you're ripping up the college leagues. no raids and matchmaking. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't see eye to eye with people who complain about there not being a search queue for raids. Guys,
Yeah,
it's gonna
we've
be hard.
talked about that before. It's
Worth
nothing
again.
new, you know?
Yeah. There was access to certain objects you got earlier in the beta than you actually would have had in the release of the game because they wanted players to try things out in the Iron Banner. So we're talking about the beta. There were certain items that basically Bungie sped the leveling up and lowered the requirements of certain items so that you could actually get into Iron Banner and earn some of these rewards. But things have changed, and that's one of the reasons they're doing this companion wipe and the beta wipe. There were certain things that you shouldn't be able to get so early, and they say at launch it's a different world. It's not entirely unfamiliar, but this is alluding to the fact that you got to level 8 very quickly. This was covered in the article, and they make a very distinct shift, or what would you call it? Just a distinction between the fact that beta leveling is not going to mirror the speed that release leveling is. So boom, haters again. Everything that people complained about post beta, I wish they would have just chewed on the wait, guys. Relax. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody likes to wait, and I think this is a really important piece of information. You know, the shortness of the beta, for those of you who think that it was kind of short, it was an accelerated leveling system. So you're not going to get... So people got to level 8 in, 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah.
You know, it might take 3.5 hours to get to level 8, but the leveling system... the higher you go, the longer it takes to get to the next level.
It scales.
So it's just really important to keep this in mind in terms of the overall scope and basically the umbrella of everything that Destiny encompasses. It's going to be bigger and longer, a lot longer than the beta.
Yeah. I don't follow the whole... Man, I can't believe this free beta is so small. Are you kidding? All right, everybody was like, it wasn't free, I pre-ordered. Well, it became free if you waited until they opened it up to everybody, which I guess not a lot of people knew. So, and that's the article. You should definitely check it out. Beyond that, Bungie states in a different article this week that Destiny is their only focus and that other projects would be a distraction. Ditty sent me this one as well. You want to cover this?
It's what developers should be doing in the months leading up to a major game release. I mean, they don't want to be thinking about Destiny 2 at this point. They're just focused on the Destiny launch and getting all that content available for all the gamers at launch. So they're just only focusing on the game, the balance, and things that you will need to jump into their new world on launch day.
Yeah, and they say that, hey, guys, we actually considered before starting Destiny splitting our team into multiple parts and working on multiple projects at the same time, so multiple games at the same time. And they said they didn't want to do this. They have their entire studio focus on Destiny, not on Destiny 2, 3, 4. Well, we don't know about 4, but it's focused on Destiny. And the topic today is going to echo that, as a huge portion of the interview is talking about how much focus they're putting onto daily maintenance of Destiny to make sure there's stuff to do every single day. And our final article today is thoughts on Destiny trading. You sent me this last week, Ditty, and just a quick recap. An experienced MMO player talks about the reasons he thinks that having no trading between players is a really good thing for the game that is Destiny.
Can you give kind of like an overview? Because I'm not really an MMO player, so I have no idea what trading does to like a game's economy or whatever. He was going in depth, and I'm just like, this is over my head. I need to stop reading this because it's going to make my brain explode.
Well, it can do a few things, and it just depends on how everything is balanced. In terms of games that have heavy crafting, so WoW has these things called professions, where it's a way to make gold, and it's vital so people can create a healthy auction house. To be honest, the auction house is not really used for trading items that often. Once you reach the high end of the game, all the items that you want are what are called bind on account, which means they're only available to that character that receives them. You cannot trade them on the auction house. You cannot sell them to other people. These are called bind on accounts for a reason, and they can only be worn by the characters on your account. And what this basically makes sure is that if there's some really high-end piece of raid gear that is super cool, You don't have players farming it, putting it on the auction house, and selling it to the highest bidder. Because it loses its value at that point. Anybody who's got enough coin to purchase it, even if they haven't met the requirements to actually get it, it lessens it. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody in the full highest tier armor set, full epic, legendary, rare, whatever you want to call it, it's going to carry a lot more weight within it. And there's manipulation, and there's just a whole slew of things. Destiny doesn't have professions. It doesn't have crafting. It does have farming, or maybe it will have professions, but not to the extent that WoW does. WoW has a whole pantheon of things that you can do, like enchanting and inscription and crafting, or tailoring, that kind of stuff. And he just talks about a lot of reasons why trading could upset the flow that is Destiny. It is complex, like you said, and I'm not going to do it justice. I really encourage players or listeners to go and check this article out if they're interested in that side of things. I agree partially with him, but I'm going to be honest with you, Ditty. I think it would be cool if I could trade certain things with other players. I'm totally okay if some of the gear is bind on account. I think that's how you solve the problem. I'm totally okay if there's not an auction house. But I would love to pass on some of my items to friends. You know what I'm saying? Lower level characters who are getting into the game. Big part of WoW is like, hey, here's some stuff I don't need, or here's gold. Perhaps you can give Glimmer to other characters. Who knows?
Time is short, Guardian. Perhaps I can help you.
All right, so for today's topic, we're going to briefly discuss the PlayStation Access video that came out regarding how big Destiny will be, and Bungie talks about the maps that are going to be released at launch, worlds, expansions, and more. This was with Deej, and it was a great video. It's about 14 minutes long, and I took some notes and just wanted to go through the points with you. And one of the things that first came about was more people were online playing at the same time during the Moon event than any other game Bungie has made. Boom, Halo Kids, Crimea River, they said it there. During the Moon, more people were playing Destiny at the same time than any other Halo game or any other Bungie game, which means basically Halo.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty big news. I guess you could say it's a little different because Halo is Microsoft, Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think back to Halo 2 days when that was just enormous, man.
Everybody was playing Halo.
Yeah. And now it looks like everybody's playing Destiny, even if they are spread across different consoles.
Yep.
So, Destiny should have a diverse sandbox. There should be no logical choices, and it should be open-ended. And this is regarding armor abilities, class selections, gear.
Super abilities,
supers.
not armor abilities.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's clarify.
I upset somebody in the comments when I said that. It was like, whoa. Bro, is armor lock in this? Are you serious, man? Like,
Yo, armor lock in Destiny? Yeah, right.
If there is, Riot, please. Hey, by the way, are NA servers just melting right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Back on topic. Deej says there should be a counter for everything and that each player should have their own choice of an expression of power.
Yeah, I thought this one was actually kind of really funny because he said, the interviewer kind of said, like, I didn't see any way to counter, like a Titan ground smashing as soon as he ran around the corner and saw me. I don't see any way to counter that. And Deej just kind of laughed at him and said, shotgun to the face stops pretty much anything. And it's just like, well, yeah, but what are the chances I'm going to have my shotgun out at that exact moment? And what are the chances I'm actually going to hit him as he dashes forward and slams into the ground?
Yeah.
It's just like, sure, there's counters, but it's obviously a little bit more powerful than we think.
I'm betting that once we unlock more of the class abilities, supers, I'm going to have a hard time with that. Some of the supers will interact with each other in that way. You know what I'm saying? There might be a bubble shield for Titans that could defend a point and say, here comes a group of people.
There was a video that Bungie tweeted out, and it was kind of along the same lines. Somebody made this video of, he was using the Hunter's Golden Gun, and he, in one use of the Golden Gun, he stopped two other people trying to use their super abilities. He stopped a Warlock trying to use their Nova Bomb, and he stopped a Titan trying to ground slam him. So
I think that info will come out when the game launches and we start seeing some level 20 characters and subclasses being explored,
People are going to figure out how to get around certain things in the game. They always do.
Yeah, and the beta is such a small percentage that we're really just getting to talk about what I would consider about 3 trailers worth of stuff. So
Exactly.
They don't really want an OP class or setup. Their goal is to make it so you, the player, get the choice of how I want to play. You really get to look at this huge set of gear and choices and not have to worry about what's the best, but rather, what do I want to use? And here's the huge thing that they're talking about is long-time support from Bungie. They want to make sure that they're monitoring the player base on a daily basis. They're inputting events and things for players to do on a daily basis and giving players options to play whatever style they want. Crucibles, PvE, trading, Glimmer. Well, not trading, but Glimmer, that kind of stuff. So I really liked that. That's interesting. That doesn't sound like anything like any FPS we've seen the last 3 years, where it's just like buy the game, buy the DLCs, buy the next game, you know?
Yeah, they don't want this game to be just one thing. They don't want the Destiny to be just multiplayer or just strikes or just raids. They want players to actually play every aspect of their game because it's massive. And if you just play the multiplayer or if you just play the story, you're missing out on a lot of content in this game.
Biggest game they've ever made, man. Biggest game they've ever made. They kept restating that this week, saying that this is the biggest undertaking and biggest game that they've ever made, and that the sheer amount of stuff that players get to do is overwhelming.
Exactly. So, I saw some comments saying there's only 4 or 5 explorable spaces. That's tiny. Yeah, but those spaces are huge.
Yes, and leading off of that, if you want to
think about that, if you want to think about it that way, Skyrim is one explorable area. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Well, more of Old Russia is left to explore, which was noted, which leads me to believe that there's a whole lot more of Earth, because we talked about earlier on a few shows back. There's more than one zone on Earth. There's, I think, 3 or 4 that we had initially saw. There's way more to the moon. And just the fact that there's more to Old Russia can sort of give you a hint that one of the zones within the zones we haven't even seen the full ticket of. So
yeah, exactly.
I think it was a fake kind of fear after the beta came out that it's like there's not going to be enough stuff to do. You and I didn't really buy into it because we're fairly Destiny cheerleader, but to those who are buying into it, I don't see the evidence stacking in their favor.
Let me go get my pom-poms.
The expansions are a choice. They are not a requirement. They say that the standalone game is always going to be receiving new content and new ways for players to enjoy the game on a daily basis, which that's refreshing as well. That's very different than other companies who basically make sure that the expansions feel like a lifeline. If you want to actually experience support from this title, you should buy the map pack. Otherwise, you're excluded from the playlists.
And Deej really emphasized the fact that they're saying expansion packs instead of like map packs or DLC.
Yeah.
And he kind of addressed the fact that the industry has kind of gone away from expansion packs like the World of Warcraft expansions, you know.
Yeah.
And the industry has been using expansions as another word for DLC when it's really not the case with Destiny expansions. The Destiny expansion packs are going to include extra story missions, extra strikes, extra crucible maps, extra game modes. All this extra content is actually going to be, it's not just going to be another map pack, you know. It's not going to be a Mystic map pack from Halo 3, right? Or Mythic, sorry.
Yeah, it's interesting you point that out. It's been years of just map packs.
Yeah, map packs and like skins, you know?
It's refreshing. You know, all these things are great news. I'm glad we haven't really run into bad news for the last couple of weeks.
I'll be honest, I've never actually experienced an expansion pack, like a true expansion pack, because I never played World of Warcraft and I never played any game that had an expansion pack. I just always had map packs. I always had DLC. I'm really hoping that Bungie delivers on this, and I'm pretty sure that they will. So,
yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. And the last bit of news that came out is that there will be 10 Crucible maps at launch. I'm not sure if we've covered this before. Probably. I would be shocked if this is brand new stuff. And he just ends that there's going to be activities that will fit all moods and players within Destiny. So just an exciting video and worth checking out. You can go and do something else. The footage is all beta footage, so pop it open, minimize it, just like you do with our show, and take a listen. We'd love to know what you think of it down below.
It came from Twitter.
On this week's It Came From Twitter, we have @Lurker0. This is a question most likely for Ditty, asking how can they buff the hand cannons, they being Bungie, hand cannons to make them more viable. My thought is faster reload plus buffed hip fire. I don't play Hunter, dude. This question's fully for you.
Well, Lurker0, I think the right direction in buffing the hand cannons is the rate of fire and the reload speed. Mm-hmm. It took, I think, 3 or 4 shots to kill somebody with a hand cannon, but they just fired so slowly. It was infuriating. And since it only has 6 bullets in a magazine, you should be able to reload that faster. Like, I should not be able to reload my assault rifle or my light machine gun, for that matter, faster than a hand cannon. It's ridiculous to me. But so I say faster rate of fire and faster reload speed. I don't really think about the hip fire, increasing that, because it's a hand cannon. The range is not supposed to be very far, so it's going to be less effective at a hip fire. So I think buffing the hip fire wouldn't make much sense in the style that the hand cannon would be used.
Yeah. Well, Hagstrom's Halo, I'm not sure if this is sort of trolly. It probably is, with the smiley face at the end. One-shot kill anywhere would help.
Well,
would that break the weapon?
That's what the golden gun is. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you gotta have some use for it.
You already have that available. Use it.
Can I infer that, like, kill times on hand cannon when it isn't golden gun, like, not
it's
that
atrocious.
useful?
It's atrocious.
It's bad.
It's so terrible. It's
Nobody uses it.
Yeah, because the range is not very far, and since it has a slower rate of fire, you really have to aim and make sure you hit that shot. So you're being more precise with a slower rate of fire and a slower reload than assault rifles. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's like, why would I use it? Why would I even pull it out?
Yeah, and it's just because of the fact that in every other game we've seen hand cannons and pistols as secondary weapons, but in Destiny they're primaries. They need to be on par with other primaries, because the way I've thought about it is they can replace a shotgun in some situations, Yeah. From firing from the hip at close range, I can spam the trigger and it would be very similar to what a shotgun would be. Maybe not as effective, but you get the meaning.
Yeah, and it still gives you a reason to pull it out of the holster.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that they're a primary weapon in Destiny means that they need to be balanced with the other primaries.
And right now it's just like, why would I? Why?
Yeah, the people who are like, I saw a hand cannon montage on YouTube, and it was just like, man, he's taking his time with these shots. And like all of the kills, well, not all of them, but a lot of the kills were people not looking at him,
Yeah.
You're not going to win many fights using a hand cannon unless you're like ridiculously accurate.
Well, I'm sure that's a position for you to fill, and we'll see the Destiny Ditty hand cannon montage, I'm sure, 2 days after release. So you've heard it here, folks. It is true. It's confirmed. And if it doesn't happen,
September 11th is going to be that.
I was going to say something inappropriate. I have the title for your montage, but it's going in the post show. So
okay.
Hey, I want to let everybody know that Destiny the Show is now available over at heroestavern.com. We had a listener from the show contact us, and he's got a website that he's really working hard to put together. heroestavern.com. It's a collection of podcasts, but it's more than that. There are forums for gamers to connect from all sorts of different titles. There's a Mumble server there, and he's really working hard to not only build a site where people can come and find podcast content that he likes to support and he thinks is good, but also where gamers can come together and find other people to play, as well as hop on a Mumble server. And I can't remember or not if there's a Minecraft server. He's probably going to be like, dude, why'd you even say that? No, but check out heroestavern.com. From what we understand, it's kind of a work in progress, but the support would be greatly appreciated over that direction. It's always cool to have listeners getting in contact with us here on the show. All right, Ditty, so where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter.com/whooshness with 3 O's, twitch.tv/Ditty_, and youtube.com/whooshness with 3 O's as well.
Very nice. And remember to check out destinytheshow.com for regular post updates and all the links from today's show. You can email us, destinytheshow@gmail.com. Follow our Twitter at Destiny the Show. Make sure to send us tweets so you can be on It Came From Twitter. And you can follow me at BBK Dragoon. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next time.
I think what people should do is send us screenshots of their companion app before they shut it down.
Oh, that's a good idea. Do that, guys. Hurry. You don't have much time. It's going to be gone. I hope the show gets out there before this happens. If not, it's all your fault. It's all your fault, Internet.